Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitch options for your 2015 Chrysler 300. Here we have the two best hitch options for your Chrysler 300. Here on top we're going to have the Curt. Here on the bottom we're going to have the Draw-Tite. Let's go over some of the differences between these two. As far as versatility, I'm going to have to give it to the Draw-Tite. As far as weight capacity, I'm also going to have to give that to the Draw-Tite. Now as far as my personal opinion, I would pick the Draw-Tite. Hitch pinhole sits forward of my safety chain loop, so it gives me that option for different size hooks. And our Draw-Tite is also going to have a higher tongue weight and towing capacity, so it gives me a few more options of what I can do with this hitch. One of the main noticeable differences is where our cross tube sits on our receiver tube. On our Curt here, cross tube is sitting on top of our receiver tube. Our Draw-Tite, our cross tube is in line with our receiver tube. That's going to make a difference because with our Curt, that means our receiver tube is going to sit a little bit lower on the bottom of our car, where our Draw-Tite is going to sit more flush with the underside of our vehicle. Another big difference is how far our center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of our bumper fascia is with each of these. With our Curt, from the center of the hole to the outermost part of our bumper fascia is going to be about 7.5 inches. With our Draw-Tite, from the center of that hole to the outer edge is only 4.5 inches. That number is important for any of your hitch mount accessories that may fold up against your vehicle. You want to make sure you're going to have plenty of room so when they fold it up, they're not bouncing against the back of the car. Another difference, this hole here on our Draw-Tite, this is for a J-pin stabilization device. Our Curt is not going to have this option. What that J-pin stabilization device does is it takes any of the shake and play out of any of your hitch mount accessories. That being said, with the Curt, there are locking pins that you can get to take that shake and play out of the hitch mount accessories. However, if you look where the hole is in comparison to our safety chain rings here, it's directly above it, so that may limit what size safety chain hooks you have on the vehicle if you have a locking device. Where with our Draw-Tite, our hitch pin hole actually sits in front of our safety chain loop. So that's going to make a big difference on what sizes we can use. Talking about how our Curt sits a little bit lower on the bottom of our vehicle where our Draw-Tite sits flush. From the ground to the top innermost part of our receiver tube on our Curt is going to be 8.5 inches. With our Draw-Tite, from the ground to the top innermost part of our receiver tube, it's actually going to be 10 inches, so it's going to give us about 1.5 inches more clearance from the ground. That being said, with either one of these hitches, you're going to want to get a raised shank to give you better ground clearance. As far as weight capacities go with these, with our Curt, we're going to have a 350-pound max tongue weight and a 3,500-pound max trailer weight. With our Draw-Tite, we're going to have a 675-pound max tongue weight and a 4,500-pound max trailer weight. Now, tongue weight is the downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. Trailer weight is how much pulling force the hitch can handle. You always want to consult with the owner's manual of your vehicle to make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight, and always go with the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. Now, as far as the installation goes on these, they're both very similar. However, with our Curt, we're going to have 3 mounting locations on each frame rail. With our Draw-Tite, we're only going to have 2. Now, let's go over some of the similarities between these. Both are going to be Class 3 hitches. Both are going to have a 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube opening. Both are going to have reinforced collars to give you a little extra stability on your receiver tube. Both are going to have 5/8 inch hitch pin holes. Both are going to have rolled steel style safety chain loops. It gives you plenty of room for different size hooks. And both are going to have a black powder coat finish to resist any rust or corrosion. That'll do it for a look at the best hitch options for your Chrysler 300.